All right.
Well, welcome back, guys, and we're back with the weekly videos. I've had a couple of weeks off because I'll tell you what, a few of us have needed it with the teams that we follow at the moment. It's been a couple of those weeks where I sort of, to be honest, it's sort of gone a bit downhill with footy, but trying to maintain it, trying to maintain the excitement. Finals footy around the corner. Look, first of all, we want to start with straight into it, weapon of the week, and it's got to be the Warriors. And we were supposed to do this last week, but they've done it again. They've put in a great performance. They've got most of their side out, it seems. They've lost their captain. Tuivasa-Sheck, who's playing in another code already. It's crazy to think that there's some teams here who are struggling with the team and the smallest of indiscretions but the Warriors just keep on keeping on. And Sid, I'll open it up to you because you're one of the main ones that have wanted to sort of speak about this one. Is what do you make of the Warriors?
Oh, mate, just all heart. I put it down to heart. They're just very resilient. Like, doesn't matter who's out there, you know. They're constantly rotating players. I mean, they lost Tohu Harris a couple of weeks ago. You know, guys like Jazz Tavanga's in and out of the team. You know, Chanel Harris-Davita's in and out of the team. Doesn't matter. They just keep turning up. And I've got to give a shout out to my old mate, you know, Nathan Brown. He's motivating them and he's got them running through brick walls, and that's what you want in a coach. And the players should be proud of themselves, and their fans, I'm sure, they're proud of them as well.
Yeah, he must be slapping a few faces before they run out because I'll tell you what, it's working. Dane, I know you've always had a soft spot for RTS with his time at the Roosters, but surely even you were thinking once he left, the Warriors basically probably no more wins for the rest of the year, unfortunately, just how crucial he was to that team. He was the captain. He was the inspiration, it seems. Quite believe just the run that they're on at the moment.
Yeah, look, I thought once RTS was gone, I thought they were history. But they've come over here for a reason, and they're playing with a lot of heart, a lot of fire, and I think they're doing an amazing job. They just keep digging deep. They're playing for each other, and you know they've always been a good team. There's nothing really dirty about them, apart from that flog that they had there that used to play for the Roosters, the one that had the stuff taped around his with the swear word on it.
Oh, Kane Evans.
Kane Evans. He's a grub. But now, look, they're a good club, and they've really gone sort of under the radar. They're only 2 points out of the top 8.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's fantastic.
It's crazy to think they could make the top 8. And Reece Walsh has been fantastic since he went there. I still just can't believe the Broncos let him go. He's such a freakish talent and can really step into those RTS shoes in the next few years and be that important to the Warriors. But I guess it sort of gets us onto a couple of facepalm moments or flogs of the week, as we like to call them back here. And that's sort of the Warriors have shown how they can deal with this lockdown and having to be in a bubble. They're doing it so well. Yet for mine, there's a club that aren't doing so well, which is obviously the Eels. But I'll go on to them after this. I'll let Sid go first because I know he's got a flog of the week that he has wanted to call out for probably the last 2 to 3 weeks. We haven't been able to get on yet, but here's your chance, Sid. Keep the hood on. I don't want it to be blown off with some smoke, but off you go.
Oh, mate, look, it has to be, and I don't mean to be that kind of person that jumps on and bashes a player, but I've tried to like the guy as a player. Corey Norman, he's just so lax. He's the highest paid player currently. He runs out on the field every week. He's taken over as a senior player with Ben Hunt, who's killing himself every week, got injured. He's out for the season. We thought, here we go, Corey Norman, here's your chance to take control of the team. You know, the kicking, before Lomax back, he was a goal kicker. He was a main focal point, and always seen his garbage from him. Just these lackadaisical passes you can see. They're sort of just flaps his arms. There's no intensity. He laughs half the time on the field, you know, has a little smirk on his face when he kicks it out in the full or, you know, causes an error or You know, and the worst part about it has to be, and I saved it for last on purpose, is when he runs the ball, he steps in dummies, he actually goes through because he gets between defenders because he has that core ability, he has the foundation to be a player, to be a rugby league player. But then he just stops pumping his legs and he just curls up. And what happens? Two things. One, he doesn't make a break. Two, he's not open for an offload. Three, he's not open for a quick play of the ball. And the ref calls surrender. And I see at least 5 times a game from him, and it's frustrating. In a time like this with the club the way it is, they need fighters. He's the opposite of a fighter, and he's on 800K, and this is why he doesn't have a contract, and this is why no one's interested in picking him up next year.
He'll be on Centrelink next year.
Yeah.
Well, he's got his clothing brand, so he'll feed off that, no doubt. But Sid, I've got to agree with you, and I said it when we were watching the game the other night, is that you guys were playing, you were in the game when you were going hard up straight, playing direct. And for some reason, both times he got the ball in the first 15 minutes to 20 minutes, he decides to just throw some stupid long balls that just weren't on. And anyone could see you guys were in the game when you're going direct. And he should, as a chief playmaker, he should see that and go, yep, this is what's working for us. It's boring, but it is working. It gets us a chance to, and at the time, if you got the 2 points last week, you're probably an outside chance of making the 8. So it was a big game for you. And it's just crazy to think that a chief playmaker on that much money can't see a basic thing of rugby league. And it's just general gameplay, game management, really. So, Dane, well, how do you rate Norman? If you were a CEO for another club, would you be looking at signing him for next year?
I think his attitude stinks. I think it was good that Parramatta got him out of their club. Look, I think he just needs to change his attitude. I think he's too up himself. He is a good player. He's got some talent, but I just think he just goes on his own tangent, to be honest with you. And I think next episode, we've got a big reveal. Does he make the flog list? Let's do a little sneak peek. We'll just give one away.
All you video viewers,
all flog 10 sits up the top, but the rest will be revealed in the next episode, guys. So if you've got any players or playing staff or administration you think's a flog, send it through to us, guys.
Yep.
And we'll consider it for the flog list. Big reveal next episode.
No, he gets so excited. I give him his own little segment in a segment, and he's already given himself a spruik. So, look, guys, there it is. That's some exciting news for next episode. And if you are an old-fashioned YouTube watcher or Facebook, you can see us there, and you can see the world-famous flog list. You podcasters, I'll do a separate video where next week I'll actually just explain everyone that's on that list, because I'm telling you now, it's quite a list. Look, the other
thing has 17 Parramatta players too, doesn't it?
Oh, well, nice segue there. We're getting better at this, aren't we, guys? We're doing nice segues, nice little cuts. Nice. We're almost becoming pros here. That's the second one. And that's not just a facepalm moment, honestly. I was dead set uppercut myself. I've been pretty annoyed, it's been pretty hurtful to watch what's happened. And it's the fact that it's happened again after last year. We were promised as Parramatta supporters the world, saying the players have looked into it. It's not going to happen again this year. They're timing things right. Look, I'm not going to be naive. It has been a really hard draw. It's been as if we've got to play a final series before a final series. So I'm going to hold out full judgment until we finish our season, which will probably be week 1 or week 2 of the finals when we get knocked out once again. But look, maybe this is some sort of great attacking prowess from the coach and have everyone underestimate us. I don't know, but the way we've been playing has just been disgusting, really. The way that they spoke last week about this game, saying, they penned a letter to the fans to apologise, and the second tackle of the first set, we give away the dumbest penalty, and after that, it was just a turbo show. Manly were on a roll. For some reason, our wingers decide just to go up and in for no reason at all. Opposition wingers are having a field day. I have put on the chat already. We do have a special guest this week coming onto the show. So I'm not going to say too much more about the Eels on this video, but there's a special video coming out midweek. So with the great Andy Raymond, where we'll sort of get a bit more in depth, because I know there's a lot of fans out there that aren't Para fans and are loving watching what's happening to the club at the moment. So don't want to dig too deep into that, but it's fair to say pretty disappointing. Not the only club that's in a bit of a hole at the moment, but when you're promised to be a top 4 team and it's getting to finals and you can't be competitive against some of these sides, it gets a bit hard to keep up and keep interested. But look, we've got the 6 tackles, and first of all, we had women in league round last week, and obviously a big shout out to all the women involved with league, but a big one at the moment that I want to touch on first would just be the fact that the NRL's obviously got the NRLW starting at the end of the year. Hopefully that still goes ahead with COVID, and it has now expanded. I'd love it to expand even more, but it's a good stepping stone. We've got clubs like Para and Titans are now in it. Both look like they're fielding pretty strong sides. Really looking forward to it. It's a good. I think the AFL is about to release every single team with a women's side. So the NRL is a little bit behind, which isn't good to see, but they are slowly getting there. So it's good to see the women, see what they're up to. But Sid, I know we spoke last year about this, and we we're both pretty excited. And what's your sentiments here towards the women in league? Any special shout outs you've got?
Oh, look, mate, I'm excited. Yeah, we did talk about it. We called it too. We said we need more teams. We called for it. There was only 4 teams. 3 games and then finals. Felt a bit weird. I like the game. I like watching it. I know the teams do chop and change, and they buy players. Dane will be excited to know the Roosters bought Jess Sturgis. So it's beyond his.
I'm all over it, brother.
Yeah.
Second girlfriend. He's that excited. He's going to buy 2 season tickets. He only needs 1, but anyway. Yeah, no, look, I'm loving it, and I just, I'm also enjoying it. I always like hearing women that know about rugby league as well. I know it's strange, and we all have our favourites, but my favourite has to be the one I told you about. On every time I see her on Channel 9 and on the NRL app is Alana Ferguson. Mate, she's like a Peter Sterling brain. She's a real rugby league brain, and she doesn't give cliche answers. She actually gives really observant answers. And we're gonna see more of that. Ruan Sim does it on ABC Radio as well, and it's just so good. I've got a daughter. She wants to play footy. She reckons she's 3 years old. She wants to play footy already. We're already practicing passing, and that's what the women's game is all about. Giving the girls a fair go. It certainly wasn't around in my time.
Yeah, 100%. Dane, any women that you want to sort of shout out to? Obviously, it was last week, but we missed the boat a little bit. But it's good, sort of maybe even something that happened during the round on the weekend that you liked.
Yeah, look, I didn't watch much of it, but I do think that Women in League is fantastic. It's good to see the media attention on it. Even the male NRL players supporting Women in League and the females that play it. Yeah, I want to see it grow. I think it's good, and a standout thing is there's no grubs in the female league. I know it's got time to grow, but they're really, it's an opportunity for them. So and I think they're taking that opportunity. I mean, some of them have probably still got normal jobs as well as playing league, because there's not a whole lot of money in it. So I think the more that it gets media attention, exposure, and sponsorship and things like that, I think it will continue to grow, and I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, the one thing I really love about the women's game is that it's sort of like watching old-fashioned rugby league. It's they don't have the wrestle, they don't do the gimmicks, they don't do. I can't remember any time seeing like a chicken wing or a head slam, things like that. It's just old-fashioned playing rugby league. And I love it. It's so good to watch, and I love watching all the games. I love the fact that it's going to be a bit later. Actually, it lets them be in the spotlight, have their own time on telly, and I really love that. And it leads me into just letting everyone know that here we are expanding a little bit, and welcoming a few new guests and things like that over the next few weeks, and some more regulars onto the show. And any women out there that love their league, are passionate, please reach out, message the show, and either on Facebook or Insta. I'm more than happy to have any of you on and have a bit more of a chat about footy. Love chatting to all you ladies about the game. You all know the game inside out. There's some great minds out there, as Sid's already mentioned. So really looking forward to the next few weeks and having a chat to some of you girls out there. Second one is the big scores. A simple question here. Like it, don't like it. Start with you, Dane.
I like it for my multis, but I still can't get a multi up. So I kind of don't like it at the same time. Look, the big scores, to be totally honest, is teams putting their heads down. Like, I don't want to bring it up, but the Parramatta game, like Micah Seaver running, leisurely to pick up a ball that had just been kicked from the other side of the field. It's, that's where you're going to get your blowouts. It's just, I think it's lazy, heads go down. It's disinteresting unless you've got a multi on or you support that team, really. Otherwise, everyone else is just going to switch off. So, to be honest, I don't like it.
And you do make a very good point there in regards to the teams that do put their heads down. Some of the good teams are really good at not doing that, even when they do lose a player. But there's a lot out there that just play dumb. Sid, are you like it or don't like it, man?
It's a tough call. I mean, Dane is spot on. I mean, if you're interested, if it's your team, it's great seeing that scoreboard tick over. But if you're a neutral, you just the poor defense. It's not impressive. You just think these guys are bored, or they're giving up, or they can't make the eight, so they're not trying anymore. And the tries aren't as exciting because of that, because it's try after try after try. Right, so I guess I guess I'll say I don't like it, but I will add that the NRL wanted this. I feel like we discussed this, Joel, when they changed the rules, you and I. I feel like they want it like NFL, and you're seeing more and more sets going well over 60, 70 meters every set because of these quick dumps, the 6 agains and whatnot, and then attack, and then you like a high chance of coming away with points, I feel like they've designed it that way, and we're seeing the fruits of that now.
No, I agree with both you boys, and it is a weird one because I think the NRL want to be entertaining. They want to put themselves in the entertainment business and sell their product, and that's probably it's easier to sell a product that has some really good tries than the boring old good tackles or good defensive game. It's obviously much harder to get new fans into the game. Normal NRL fans, tragics, love that sort of thing, but they're trying to bring new fans in. We've said it over and over again. I'm not a fan of their blueprint to try and do that, but that's what the NRL are trying to do. But yeah, I kind of got to say I don't like it. I don't like seeing these consistent 50, 60 score lines that happen. And a lot of the time, it could be a lot more. It's like the teams do sort of shut off a little bit once they get to 50 points because they start resting like the Turbos, Tedesco's, Jerome Hughes, things like that. They all start getting rested once they've got 20 minutes to go. They're up by 40. So it's taken away a little bit from the contest, and I'm not a big fan of that aspect. But a big reason why the score blowouts have been the 6 again rule leads us into this tackle, which would be, should it always be a penalty, or should it be a penalty from now on if it's inside the 20 instead of just going 6 to go, or it just sort of keeps it going? Should it be and just an actual penalty? So at the two things like that, Sid. I'm pretty sure that's what you meant by this question, is it?
Yep. Yeah. That's right. So, look, this is the hypothetical scenario, right? Say attacking team kicks it, and then the other team gets it. The winger gets it from the corner, right? And then on the first tackle, he gets tackled about 5 meters out. Yeah. Then the defense shoots up, right? The defense shoots up, and then they give away a 6 again, right? And they smash the next bloke, and then he's 7 meters out from his line, and then they shoot up again, and then what happens? They drop the ball because of the pressure, or something like that. The following tackle, or they get carried into the in goal. or something like that. You know. Now, I think the teams would much rather just get a penalty, but kick it out. That pressure, that 6 again, doesn't give them a free play, and they end up dropping it 2 free tackles later within. You know, sometimes the very next tackle. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and teams know it. The good teams know it. They just do it. They go, nice. We'll just keep shooting up, or we'll smash them. You either nail them, you give them extra tackle, or they drop it 2 free tackles later. Either way, it's a win-win for the defensive team.
Yeah. I agree there. I do like the idea. Dane, you a fan of the idea?
Actually, just thinking about it, I quite like it because, you know, at the end of the day, they're trying to speed the game up so that we see more tries. That's what fans want to see. They want to see tries, not who kicks, you know, how many goals from how many attempts. So I actually quite like the concept because it gets them up the field a bit as well. If they get that penalty kick, it takes a bit of the pressure off. The players do get a bit of a rest. They don't get a whole lot of a rest during the game unless there's a scrum packed or the ball's, you know, sort of gone dead or gone right into the seats or something like that. So I actually quite like that concept. I think you should email the administration, Sid, with that.
Oh, Sid loves an email. He'll be on for that. It might leak into his daily COVID updates that he likes to do, guys. So I can see that. I can see that coming into it. The other thing I want to see done to the 6 again rule, and I'd like to see this happen in the off season, is if a team does give away consecutive 60 goes in a tight period, say a 5-minute spell, you get 2 sort of warnings. Your third one is a sin bin, because I'm just sick of watching teams give away these constant 60 agains. There's no real punishments because then they can lay on someone in the ruck. They slow it down. It's not achieving what the NRL wanted it to achieve, which is to speed up the game. They're actually slowing the game down. So after your second one, in a short space of time, go, look, guys, that's just yell out, second warning. Everyone knows it. Next one he does in that 5-minute period, doesn't matter who it is, off you go, have a sit down. Because for mine, I just hate seeing it. It just ruins the spectacle for mine. And too many teams are smart with it at the moment and really exploited what the NRL was trying to achieve with this, which really thinking about it, looking at it, haven't achieved what they've sort of wanted to with this rule, I don't think. The latest, we've had another crackdown on the sin bins, it looks like this week, and whether people agree or not with some of the sin bins and then the send-off, we all were pretty boisterous in the chat when Madison got sent off. It was sort of one of those ones where the player fell a bit awkwardly. Parko, he fell a bit awkwardly. Madison was already bent over as well, so I don't know what he could do in that split second, but obviously got sent off. Is it the end of the enforcer? Because I was sort of thinking about this from a Parramatta point of view, and I use an example. I was thinking we really need a guy who can up the team and get them motivated. But we have the perfect guy who used to do that, which is Nathan Brown. But I feel like with these new rules, he's completely changed as a player and how he is on the field because of this sort of thing where if one slight thing goes wrong, he's going to be either sent off or sin bin. So I know this is a question that Sid has posted to our group for tonight's chat, but I'll answer it up first, and I think it is the end of it because we've seen Radley again, sin bin, and now he's off for another few weeks, and he's a real enforcer type. So I'll go to you first, Dane, and it's obviously your forward leader and probably your team leader is Victor Radley. He's now missing again for a few weeks. Surely this is the end of the enforcer, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, you know, I think even Andrew Johns or one of the greats came out and said that he just has to change his ways. He's not making any progress. He's going backwards by, you know, still doing the same old things. I mean, yeah, we like to see, you know, tough, big hits, hard hits. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's costing our team. We've got enough injuries as it is, you know, on a Roosters front. But, you know, I think all players have to change their ways. It's just the way that the game has evolved, and you know, if you don't adapt to it, well, you're just going to get punished, and you know, and then it affects teams, it affects the fans in turn, and yeah, you just got to change. But on the rules, I think this has been the worst year in the way of consistency for the way that the rules are, because they crack down and they lay off, and they start cracking down again, and someone gets hurt, like seriously hurt, or you know, that they're out on a concussion or something, and they'll crack down again. And it's like, set the standard right from the first game and just ride that through all the way to the end of the season, then change the rules and make your changes in the off season.
I'll get Sid's answer in a second to this, but I agree with you 100% there, is that it has been this year, if the NRL can actually sit back and be proud of how this year's gone so far, they got rocks in their head, because I haven't spoken to so many league league fans and league, real passionate league men and women, and who have actually told me that they're over the year, that they're not watching it anymore, that they're zoned out, they're not interested anymore. I, for one, like the start of the year, I used to tune into Team List Tuesday, 4 o'clock, I'd be on the internet. I'd be keen as. Obviously, I still sort of do that because of the page, but if I didn't have the page, I'd be totally out of it. And there's so many people messaging the page, people we talk to, us included. Obviously, Josh and Jason as well, being dog supporters, but we're all sort of at that stage at the moment where the season, it's not just because of how our teams are going, but it's just how everything's been officiated. We've started a season, then all of a sudden, 6 to 8 weeks into it, we've got all these drastic rule changes just thrown into it. And it's clearly impacted some teams where they haven't recruited for that and they've just been chucked into it. It's really disappointing, and I feel like it's going to ruin the final series. That's my real worry leading into the finals, is these rules will really impact it. But Sid, what about the enforcer? I think at the Dragons, I'd probably say Tarek Sims would be your sort of enforcer guy.
Yeah.
And even he sort of hasn't been himself since these rule changes. Do you think it's the end of the enforcer as well, unfortunately?
Mate, the short answer, and that's all we need. You guys are all over it. It is the end of the enforcer. I mean, there's only so much that can be in the back. Jack DeBellin got put on report for one where he literally was like that. His back was like that, and then the guy slipped over and didn't even really make contact. He sort of guys holding the ball, and and DeBellin went like he had the most bemused look. And then the guy he tackled, even the Penrith player, I think it was Liam Martin or something. They just looked at each other like he's serious, and he got put on report and penalised. It's a joke. And you mentioned recruitment. It's a great call, and we discussed this already. We wouldn't have bought Josh Maguire if we knew this was going to happen, because he's a walking, loading. It's got too much loading. The liability is a risk. Talk about the Dogs boys, Hetherington and Napa. Like, what are they going to do? Do they want 2-2s on the players now? It's just too much.
Yeah, and they're just loaned to Corey Horsburgh as well, which is another fiery character. But it's absolutely nuts. It really is, and it's unfortunate that I'm really, really worried about these next few weeks and the finals with how we've seen it officiated. But quick one here now is who's your rookie of the year, boys? Sid, I'll start with you.
Oh, I think I'm going to be boring. I'm going to say, I know there's quite a few, but given the circumstances and the club he's at, I'm going to say Reece Walsh.
Yeah.
I'm going to say he's a smoky. He's a smoky for rookie of the year.
Yeah.
He's just he's been very impressive. He's all rugby league between the years. I know I say that a lot. Big call to move RTS to the wing for this kid. That shows a lot, and he hasn't disappointed. Reece Walsh is my man.
And no disrespect to the Warriors at all, but to basically be kicked out of a very well-known club in the Broncos, to then be told then you're not wanted, would be a bit of a kick in the guts. A lot of people would say, "Oh, going to the Warriors is a demotion," but the way he sort of played, it's the Warriors win here, and they're going to reap the rewards for years to come. Dane, what about yours? And this is probably a good chance for you to spruik your own here.
Yeah, well, look, there's a bit of a potential dark horse, Dane Cunningham. I think he's a bit of an inside shot there. In all honesty, I reckon Reece Walsh or Sam Walker. I mean, I'd have to have a look at the stats to see who would actually get it. They've both sort of been a little bit sort of hot and cold, but I'm only saying Sam Walker because he's had to jump right into the engine room, into the halves. He started off like a firecracker. he's really stood up to the pressure. And I'm not just saying that because I support the Roosters. I really think he has done a good job so far. But has he played enough games? That's why you've got to look at, Reece Walsh, and he's done a lot of exciting stuff as well. So I'd have to say it'd have to be one of those two.
Yeah, look, I'm going to give Sam Walker a massive sort of spruik myself. Is that you look at what the Roosters have gone through this year, and it's easy to say, well, he's playing for the Roosters, but they've had 3 key players this year retire. One, their captain, the other, their vice captain and second captain for the last few years. He's had his key playmaker, who he would have trained all off season with, in Luke Keary, basically out for the whole year with his injury. For a young kid, he hasn't shied away. He's been battered and bruised. He's pretty much, I wouldn't be surprised if he's walking around at the moment. He's missing a few ribs or whatever. He's just toughing it up. Really, for mine, he's the odds-on favourite. I'm going to throw a smoky out there, though. I'm going to say Dane Laurie. Similar reasons, because the Tigers have been bashed. They haven't shown much at all. And apart from Dewey, I'd probably say Dewey, and then obviously Dane Laurie would probably be your next in line. So as giving the Tigers something in attack, and he's just been at the back getting bashed while the Tigers haven't been making meters, and he's just been standing up. And unfortunately, his year's been cut short with injury, but it wouldn't shock me, or I wouldn't begrudge if he was Rookie of the Year. I guess last
Never heard of
him. Don't be your Roosters biased over there. Look at him go. The last question here, boys. Can anyone beat the Storm? They're just too good at the moment. And for mine, I'll go first. I'm going to say no. They're in a league of their own. Sid?
Oh man, look, the only thing that gave me the inkling is on one hand is what the Raiders did on the weekend. I don't rate the Raiders, but the thing with the Raiders is they're the modern day dogs of war. They make every game a dogfight, whether they're playing the last team or the first team, and they will beat you up in the middle. And they did show the way. They beat up the Storm. They took a lot of risks, shooting up and that, maybe an unorthodox, disruptive type of play. But having said that, that would also come down to what ref on the day of the grand final, whether he's going to allow that sort of play, because he did let a lot go on the weekend. I'm referring to the Raiders when they played the Storm. But man, look, I hate to say it, but short answer is I can't really see, especially with Panthers on the decline. The only slight hope is Manly.
Yeah, Dane. Anyone going to be challenging the Storm this year?
Yeah, look, I'll personally go there and beat them up myself. So, yeah, they can be beaten. I don't think at the moment any team can beat them. If anybody can beat them, they're really going to have to step up over the next sort of 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever it's going to take to get to, semi-finals, grand final. Manly's the only team, and possibly the Panthers. They really have to step up. And that's barring that Melbourne don't get any injuries. If they get an injury, a key injury like Munster's out, or Jerome Hughes, I mean, he's just copped a pretty big knock over the weekend. I think that changes the dynamic of their team, and I think that might ruffle their feathers a little bit, and they might be vulnerable.
Yeah,
I'd like to see them beaten though.
Yeah, well, it would be good. I mean, if there is one guy out there that's going to do it, it's Turbo. So really, really keen to see those guys versus. I think they're going to be playing week 1 of the final, Storm versus Manly, the way things are going. So that'll be a pretty good game to watch. And on their day, I think South's attack might worry them a little bit, but South's defence at the moment, for mine, wouldn't be able to hold the Storm for a whole games. But look, boys, that's it for this one. We're back. We're into it. As I said, guys, first of all, thanks for all the support, continued support. It's going crazy. Everyone's commenting on everything. Everyone's loving the special series we're doing at the moment with the teams post from 2010 to now. Lots of opinions, loving it. Some crazy teams out there at the moment, and there's going to be something special once we've got all the teams there, some competitions there. So tune in. Don't forget Andy Raymond on this week to talk all things Parramatta, and we've got the flog list. That's going to be announced next week. Dane cannot wait for it. I can't wait to see who's on there either. I'm going to give everyone a hint to one name. His initials are P and K. So make it out of what you will. But look, guys, that's it. Thanks for coming on. And women as well, please message the page. Any footy fans out there really want to have you on. So thanks, boys, and enjoy your week and bring on the footy next weekend.
Thanks, boys.
Sure, bro.